Welcome everybody to the Resilient Podcast. My name is Neil Tan and I am your host. Today we are coming from Bangkok, Thailand, and we have a fantastic guest. His name is Topp and he is the founder and CEO of Bitkub. Welcome, Topp, to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's been a hectic week already, running from different events and so forth, so really appreciate the time. Maybe we'll just kick it off with like a quick introduction of yourself and the Bitkub program or the platform.
Sure. So my name is Topp. I'm Thai, based in Bangkok.
Yep.
I have been in this cryptocurrency space for 11 years now.
Right.
One of the first, pioneer, Bitcoin pioneer in this country.
Right.
My journey started in 2013 when I founded the very first Bitcoin wallets.
Yep.
Back then there were no regulations, right? Even in Thailand.
Right. So it was still kind of a gray area.
Gray area.
Yeah.
And I remember 11 years ago, 2013-14, people thought Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
Drug money, dirty money, don't go anywhere near it.
Right.
There was a general perception.
Yep.
And then things got a bit better in 2015-16 when people started to say blockchain is going to change the world.
Right.
But for Bitcoin, don't go anywhere near it. Still
kind of like a pariah kind of thing, right?
Yeah, still saying that the context was like blockchain is good, Bitcoin is bad. In 2015-16.
Yeah.
And then the second boom happened in 2017 after the second halving, right, Bitcoin halving.
Right.
The price went from $600 to $20,000.
Right.
My first company was founded in 2013, was called coins.co.th. And during the second boom, we sold the company to Gojek.
Got it. Right.
And then I started my second crypto company in 2018, so right after the burst.
Right.
The second winter.
Right.
The second crypto winter on the 1st of February 2018. So just past the peak of the second wave.
Right.
And then we have been gradually growing the business in the past 6 years.
Right.
So it's been 6 years and 3 months to be exact.
I mean, that's like, a lifetime in crypto, right? I mean,
we're like the old guys.
Yeah, you guys are like dog years, kind of a very long life already.
Because Bitcoin has been around for 15 years and I've been in this space for 11 years.
Right.
We're like the old guys.
OG. The true OG.
And now we became the largest digital asset company in Thailand. We control 95% market share.
Wow.
In this country.
That is massive.
Right. In 2021, we were the most visited website in the country.
Right.
Not just in finance, overall in
the entire country.
We were the most visited website. We were the most downloaded, applications on the phone.
More than any e-commerce platform, or more than any music platform, like
just the year 2021.
Wow.
Right? But right now we have about so in Thailand we have 70 million population, right? So 1 in 7 people
is trading crypto.
Is having our application on their phone. Right?
Wow.
1 in 7 people.
Right.
And we became the most profitable startup ever in the Thai startup history.
Right.
Right. We made $200 million in revenue and $100 million in net profit.
Wow.
And so we were more profitable than the Thai Stock Exchange, right? In 2021, just that year.
Right.
And then we experienced the third winter.
Sure.
22, 23 was the winter time. Despite that, we were still profitable.
Right.
The company has been profitable for 4 years now.
Right.
And our next goal is to become a public company, which is going to be one of the very first in the world, coming from the east side.
Sure.
Coinbase was the first from the west.
Coinbase, Gemini, all those folks like that.
Gemini is not public.
I mean, Coinbase.
Only Coinbase is listed. So we're hoping that we're going to be the first from the east side to be a public company in this space.
Right. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, if you kind of talk about it, it's been a fantastic journey. I mean, I guess if you look at what's been successful inside of Thailand that Hong Kong can learn from or other jurisdictions can learn from, because obviously you have started so much further ahead, right? And is it just that the market is much more receptive, or the users are much more receptive, or what's the secret sauce to Bitkub?
comes down to many factors and to many different stakeholders' contribution.
Sure.
But I think the first main factor of why Thailand is so successful in terms of cryptocurrency adoption is that we were very clear in terms of regulations for a long time now.
Right.
Our company has received a proper digital asset exchange license for 6 years now.
Wow.
So we were able to, do proper business in this area. We were able to properly advertise and communicate to the customers early on when the rest of the world was still in the gray area.
Right.
Not doing, not sure if this is right or not sure if this is wrong.
That's right.
And you can't really incentivize talents to come and join the industry if the industry is gray.
Right.
You can't really bring serious talents to help you grow the industry.
Because there's too much uncertainty for their career and everything, right? So.
Right, and obviously talented people, they have so many options. Why are they going to risk their career on something gray?
Like you were saying, Bitcoin versus blockchain, right?
So in Thailand, we were able to validate that early. Right? We were able to legitimize the space early.
Right.
So we can grow a proper business. We can incentivize proper, talented individuals to come and grow the ecosystem, in the most legal way possible. And we have this stability in terms of regulations as well.
Right.
The taxonomy of different types of cryptocurrencies, for instance. Even in the US now, they're still debating whether alternative coins are classified as securities.
Securities, right.
In Thailand, we have been cleared from day one that there are three types: cryptocurrency, investment token, or real-world asset, tokenization of real-world asset, asset-backed token, and then utility token.
Right.
And still up to today, it has been, even the definition of different types of tokens has been stabilized for 6 years now. And that is why Thailand is so successful in terms of cryptocurrency adoption. But we are also under the radar. Not many people know
scrutiny
about Thailand. We're under the radar in terms of not many people are taking Thailand seriously. When they talk about cryptocurrency, they would eye the US or the European area or Southeast Asian region. We have like a small voice. We are underrepresented on a global stage. Yeah. We're so under radar, but per capita ratio, we are one of the most successful.
Got it. What do you think it was the trigger event? I mean, that Thailand would have this type of foresight 6 years ago to go into this sort of regulation of this space. Like, what do you think was the activation of the regulators to say, we want to go into crypto or we want to go into digital asset space? Was it from a voice from you guys as well, from the markets?
Many things contributed to this, right? The first thing was that we were lucky to have like our two companies early on, right? 11 years advocating about Bitcoin in this country. So obviously we had more time to create awareness compared to other countries that started late. Right. We were one of the few Bitcoin companies in the world being created 11 years ago. So we had the lead time to grow the market before other companies. And second of all, because of the second boom, 2017 boom, the finance minister ordered the Thai SEC to have a proper regulation on this space.
Right.
Because we were bootstrapping before the boom, giving education, providing awareness. Right. So after the boom, Thailand is particularly excited in the second halving phase. Then, especially if the market was too excited, the regulator was worried. So the finance minister ordered the Thai SEC to launch a proper regulation, to bring everything on ground. Right?
I see.
So early in 2018. So we were the first to get a proper license. Right. Since it's been 6 years now. And that is why cryptocurrency community is so vibrant. Because the regulators took action early back then, and they continue to innovate and adapt.
Right.
In tandem with the industry.
Right. When you look at that, I mean, in terms of the innovation and the encouragement by the regulators to develop the marketplace, it's like, how do they strike the balance between regulating and the innovation and advancing innovation?
That is like main issues, dilemmas.
Yeah.
For many,
it's like a trilemma-ish, dilemma-ish situation, right?
For many regulators around the world.
Right.
How do you focus on customers' protection, but at the same time not undermining innovations? Right? You have to find the right sweet spot,
Right,
the right
right.
balance between the two.
Right.
That is why we are calling ourselves a fintech company. We're not a financial company that moves too slow and overly compliant.
Right.
But we're not a technology company that move fast and break things. We can't really do that.
Right.
We're a fintech company, so we need to find the right balance between
Right.
the two worlds.
Right.
And Thailand has this thing called hearing.
Hearings.
Hearing. When the regulators are about to change or launch new regulatory updates,
Right.
they would create this hearing session
Okay.
where private sectors can join in
Right.
and provide relevant feedbacks from different stakeholders group. They would invite Thai Fintech Association, they would invite the actual digital asset players
Sure.
to join their hearing and to be able to submit the feedback so that they can launch something sensible.
Right. So they're actually hearing a lot of the feedback from the markets and saying market practitioners to provide some guidance in terms of the regulatory framework so that it can be practically implemented. Right?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah. And then so, I think it's also very unique. I mean, you already said it. It's like 1 out of 7 people in Thailand have your app. I mean, what's so unique about the adoption rates from the users in Thailand? What is it? Is it a cultural thing? Is it a hey, they're very interested in innovation or this type of asset class? Like, how do you get so much participation out of the population?
Again, like Thailand was very clear from day one about legalizing this space early. So we have, 6 years of proper advertising, creating awareness, providing the right set of educations
Right.
to the customers. Right? Whereas other countries, they have only experienced the first wave in 2021. We experienced legally experiencing 2 waves, 3. This is our third wave. Obviously,
Right.
not many people experienced the first wave in 2013.
Right.
So we had regulatory clarity for
Sure.
a long time. So that allows us to create different set of action to educate the market and grow the ecosystem early. But also it's a cultural thing. Thai people has one of the highest is the quickest to adopt. We are the biggest user of technology, not provider, user. Right? We are the biggest, the first to adopt
Early adopters in technology. Right.
Paragon area was the most Instagrammable, venue in the world.
Right. Okay.
TikTok, if you go on TikTok, there are so many Thai users dancing, right?
Okay,
In the
yeah.
videos. We're like the leading tech adopters.
Right.
We always adopt new things before everyone else is. As a user,
Right.
that's not always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
We want to become a provider as well, but
Right.
we're not losing to anyone in terms of adopting
Yeah.
new technology. So it's a cultural thing as well.
It's a cultural thing. People like technology. People like to be first mover, that type of thing, right?
As a user.
As a user. So yeah, I mean, maybe switching a little bit of gears here, talking about more of the earlier days, because obviously, you're a serial entrepreneur. Maybe some of the key learnings inside of that, like, can you share a little bit of that earlier part of the journey and how you ended up founding your own company, the first company, and then continue on from there?
Well, it's been 11 years of pain.
And you love the pain.
No, I would not go back and repeat the 11 years of pain again. It's one of those things that I just have to do it once, but not again.
Not again.
It's just like getting into Oxford, Just
Right.
once, that's enough.
And that's it.
I'm not going to repeat the same experience. Right.
No more A levels or anything like that, or
It was painful, but rewarding.
right.
Right? Painful but rewarding journey.
Sure.
We were the pioneer in this space, so we had to set up everything ourselves from reporting standard, right? Reporting format, right? Because traditional banks, like financial institutions, they never report Bitcoin transaction before.
Right.
We had to set up Bitcoin transaction reporting standard, right? For anti-money laundering officers. We had to work closely with the regulators to push out the first digital asset exchange license. How do we sensibly regulate this space?
Because sometimes you get the knock at the door. It's like, oh, you guys have the license. You tell us how.
Right. We operate before the SEC came in, right?
That's right.
So we had to provide the right feedback.
Right.
But also on the taxation side,
that's right.
We had to educate the R&D on how to be, responsibly taxing this industry.
That's right.
What is a private key? What is a public key? How do we make money as a business?
Right.
And we had issues with all the regulators in the past.
Right.
The anti-money laundering officer sent me like an investigation letter.
Really? Okay.
6 years ago.
Right.
7 years ago. And even the Bank of Thailand sent me an investigation letter,
right,
inviting me to their office to explain what we do. You didn't have the money remittance license.
Sure.
You didn't have the e-payment license. You didn't even have the e-wallet license.
That's right.
What is this Bitcoin company you're doing, right?
Right.
It was in a gray area.
Yeah.
But we were the pioneer, so we had to explain everything to the regulators, and it took the time to explain different steps of how the technology works.
Yeah.
It was painful. But now, everyone, eventually education catches up. Right? Everyone is aware of what we do, understand what we do now, and we're even representing the country at Davos. Right?
Exactly.
For Economic Forum. So,
yeah,
we're doing pretty well now, but it was a really painful journey.
Right.
Over the past decade.
Did you have to, when you look at the business and the business model inside of that time period, did you have to take a lot of different pivots inside of it? Of course.
Of course. We have to always revisit our strategy every year. Not every, when you're 1 year in cryptocurrency is like 10 years in other industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Things are always changing.
Yes.
Things are always occurring. So we always have to adapt really quickly to survive and to grasp the opportunity.
Right, and just go fast.
Yeah.
And make quick decisions and so forth. What sort of, if you're looking at different entrepreneurs that are maybe watching this podcast, like what would you share as a serial entrepreneur? What are key learnings that you have, over the last few years and all the different startups that you've done and all the companies that you've actually invested in as well? What are sort of the key takeaways that you would want them to learn?
You have to find this important truth, but more importantly, be the minority that found this important truth. You have to be the minority that is very right about something that the majority are wrong.
Okay. So you need to basically believe in Bitcoin, or you need to hodl, or you need to have that type of commitment.
You don't have to find. It's not just about Bitcoin, but there's so many hidden important truth that the world is right now rapidly heading towards too, but majority do not recognize them yet. Right? So it's always to be a monopoly, right? To build a successful company, you should not have a lot of competitors. Otherwise, it's going to be a red ocean. It's going to be a bird run competition. You're going to cut down each other's prices, undermining each other's effort, and you're going to be averaging out the results.
Right.
You don't want to be an average.
Yeah, you want to be a stellar performance, right?
Right. Results, performers. So the reason why we're successful now is because we were the minority that was right about Bitcoin, whereas the majority were wrong.
Right.
11 years ago.
Right.
We didn't have a lot of capital. Even on our cap table today, we have no VCs, we have no institutions.
So bootstrapped, or?
It's my dad's friends, seed money. And we've been running on cash for 4 years now.
Right.
And we can't get here today if the traditional financial institutions saw what we saw.
Right.
Or Thai Stock Exchange, they have the capital in the world. They have all the power and the capital in the world.
Right.
So we were lucky that we were the minority that was right
Right.
about Bitcoin, whereas the majority were wrong.
Right.
So you have to find that important truth. That is
Right.
like the secret sauce,
That's great.
the most important thing.
Right. And so, kind of looking forward, I guess, in the next 3 to 5 years, I mean, how is this particular market developing in Thailand? I mean, you guys are number one in Thailand. You're also number one inside of Southeast Asia, right? So you have access to a lot of market intel inside of these different countries, right? What's your sort of view as far as like the future development of crypto digital assets inside of Southeast Asia, inside of Thailand?
I would say this year onwards, we will see institutional money entering the space via like ETFs, and we will also see traditional financial players entering as a service provider, digital asset service providers
Right.
in the space. So it is becoming mainstream. Right? Digital asset is becoming mainstream.
Right.
And then after this year, next few years, then we will see more use cases beyond just trading. We will see cryptocurrency as a transactional protocol to remit money between countries. We will see cryptocurrency as a transactional protocol for payments,
Right.
for microtransaction to happen, for nano entrepreneurs, to receive nano contract work, to receive nano transaction. We will see, once the protocol is no longer paper based, we will see different applications running on top of digital money to reinvent finance in total, in general.
Use of smart contracts and so forth, right? Yeah.
So think of it this way: when the photo were paper based, you need physical camera,
That's right.
right? And when photo becomes digital, camera becomes an app
Yes.
on the phone.
Right.
So right now, the reason why we need bank branches or armor trucks to move money around, or ATM machines, is because traditional banks are like cameras, right? They are building on top of a physical protocol called paper money.
Right.
But once this protocol becomes digital, then banks will become applications.
Interesting.
So
Right.
we will see more use cases beyond just trading in the next 5 years.
Right. Right.
And we will see institutional money entering the space,
Right.
and the space being legalized more and more in every country, and there'll be no regulatory arbitrage
Right.
with the same standardization of regulation in the near future. So once we have legitimacy and money, a lot of money entering the space, though it will attract a lot of smart people.
Right.
And if you put all the smart people in the same room with money, the industry is going to change.
Yeah, very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. Where do you see? I mean, we always talk about RWAs, real world assets, and so forth, and also STOs and so forth. Like, how is that type of adoption going to happen inside of Thailand and also inside of Southeast Asia? How do you see that developing specifically in these markets?
We already listed the first real estate backed token,
Right.
legally listed.
Right.
Like, we worked with the Thai SEC for 4 years, with also the top 5 real estate firms in Thailand called Origin Group
Origin Group. Okay.
and SEB Bank, one of their subsidiaries called TokenX as the underwriter.
Oh, wow.
So now the token is live on our platform and being traded every day as we speak.
Right.
And we're gonna see there's a big backlog of real world asset tokenization
Basically, there's like
projects.
a whole portfolio of real estate sitting there waiting for you to, tokenize it then.
Right.
Right, right.
So that's the trend in the next 5 years. Anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized.
Right. Is there anything like uniquely Thai that will be tokenized that, maybe not outside of these markets?
The real estate is in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the physical building is in Thailand.
Yeah.
That the building that we tokenized is in Thailand.
Right.
But anyone can participate
Sure.
as an owner
Right.
of the fractional ownership of the building.
Right, right, right.
But we're not talking about just physical building. We are talking about the potential of tokenizing carbon credit.
Sure. Wow. Yeah.
Possible potential tokenization of electricity units.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. Even traditional stocks and bonds can be tokenized.
Right.
Gold, diamond,
Yes.
fungible, non-fungible
Right.
asset can be tokenized.
Right. Right.
And our exchange would become a critical, which we are already becoming a CII, country's critical information infrastructure. It is becoming a public goods for the people to
Right.
trade anything that can be tokenized
That's
in the
amazing.
future.
Right. And so inside of that context, I guess, is there an AI component in the future of this Web3 development inside of this area? Do you see that happening quite a bit as well?
I don't.
With the adoption of blockchain and in different industries and different sectors, and also inside of RWA tokenization.
Blockchain gives us a unique capability called the ability to upload all kinds of value onto the internet, right? It gives us a unique capability called digital scarcity. But for AI, it gives us a different capability. It allows marginal cost of computing to be zero for the first time in human history.
Right.
So a completely different thing.
Right.
But smart creatives of the future are those individuals who can combine business expertise and technology expertise and creativity together by bringing in both AI and blockchain to create a new billion-dollar company.
Right.
But not specifically in cryptocurrency area.
Right.
Right. For example, they can launch a survey to dermatologists worldwide to help identify all the possible skin condition, and they can give cryptocurrency as the micro incentives to do this feedback or to provide the insights.
Right.
Because now it is economical to send like $1, $2, right,
Yes.
overseas with the blockchain technology. So that's unique capability we are leveraging on. And then once we have all the feedbacks from the dermatologists worldwide, from all the possible skin condition, we can bring all those collective wisdom into an AI.
Right.
With zero marginal cost of computing.
Right.
You can literate with non-stop, getting smarter and smarter.
Right.
And recreate them into an application that can identify all the possible skin condition better than any dermatologist in the world.
Right.
And resell them to all the dermatologists around the world as a subscription-based application. That's already a billion-dollar company, right?
Easy.
So that's an example of a smart creative being able to amalgamate, to consolidate two types of unique capabilities, unique technology.
That's right.
And recreate a billion-dollar company.
A completely different business model, and then leveraging these two technologies to create that $1 billion.
Right.
That's been great. So, I'm not going to ask you what after the halving and what Bitcoin is going to end at 2024, but I think that's a little bit of too much prediction. But any final words that you can share to our audience in terms of the development of Thailand? What should people be looking at for Thai crypto and the development of your exchange and also the markets going forward?
I'm not going to say or mention Thailand as my last word, but I would like to encourage everyone to by saying that it's really not too late, right? Bitcoin, blockchain technology is going to be the most important invention ever in the financial industry, in the history of mankind for financial industry. So please spend some time to study Bitcoin and blockchain technology. The most important skills of the future is, and I still believe, is what we call intellectual humility. I encourage everyone to have this continuous pursuit of intellectual humility.
Right.
By opening up yourself to new ideas, new invention, and it's definitely not too late. It's going to be the most important invention in the financial history of our generation for sure.
Tom, it's been fantastic. That's a great closing words by you. I mean, I totally believe that and completely agree with that. It's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out and hanging out with me and talking more about the Thailand crypto market. So really appreciate it. So
thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.